Today I'm breaking down a deal that I almost locked in and it looked perfect on paper and I still walked away. And honestly, walking away made me more money than doing the deal ever would have. Hey, I'm Justin from Anchor Point Property Co. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I decided to pull out of a deal that looked amazing at first glance and the simple framework I used to avoid taking on unnecessary risk. People think property is risky. It's actually one of the safest asset classes when you understand how to assess and exit a deal early. By the end of this video, you'll see how to make confident decisions, protect your downside, and avoid saying yes to the wrong opportunities. So let's dive in. What we are looking at is a property in a location that I thought was an absolute banger. What we had is Redcliffe. Redcliffe in WA. So what we've got here, Redcliffe was a absolute gold mine in terms of being so close to the airport, almost kind of on the runway. So what we've got here is a massive, your DFO, you've got your Woolies, you've got your shopping centers really close. You've also got other amenities as well as some different novelty things like the Ascot Racecourse. So it was in a good location. However, it broke my first rule of investing in WA, which was going east of the freeway. Now, the reason why I thought this would stack so well is FIFO in WA, as everybody knows, is massive. People need places to live, and the mini hotels model works really well. This Redcliffe property specifically, this was renting out for $1,060 a week, but let's see the room rates here. So we've got Redcliffe 307. So if we punch this into the feasibility here, we have 1,060. We've got 6 rooms and they are renting out for $307 a week. Now, this is where we dive into it. So on paper, this property looks really good. If our setup cost of this one, which we're looking at being projected at around $25,000, it was a very good property. I'll actually show it to you. So this is the property here. This is what we're looking at. This property here, we had locked in. So the landowner agreed we could sublet the property. We could take this on for 5 years, and we could also make the changes that we need inside this deal to make it work. So what we had here is we had the double car garage and fenced low maintenance out the front. We only had like 2 or 3 trees, which is really good, no grass. Bedroom 1. This is the front doors here. This is a 2-story house. This room here, this would have been our 6th bedroom. Nice and easy. We just put a stud frame wall in here with a little door. So make it look just like another bedroom like this one. So this is bedroom 1. This is going to be the big bedroom number 6. It would have been the big bedroom number 6. And then on the other side here, I'll just show you, we've got the removable partition that we would put here as well, possibly another door. This is another view of that same room, lovely curtains. And this is the kitchen. So what we've got here, and a big living space. So because we were going to be putting up the partitions in the living space, we were like, well, where are they going to live and watch TV and stuff like that and actually have a chill out area? But this property actually had a secondary one here, which is really good. So everything is looking good. The bathroom here, we had 3 bathrooms as well. And then kitchen, clean, tidy, laundry. Upstairs, we had this situation going on. This room here has an ensuite. This room here is just standalone. And then showing back this way, we've got 2 bedrooms here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 downstairs. So 6 bedrooms. So this is what the property looked like. It was good. It's fine. Absolutely perfect. Good location, like I said. But when we jump back into the feasibility here, with 100% occupancy, right? This property makes $31,000 a year. Really good, right? But what we're looking at is a stress test. What if we take into account lower occupancy? So If we stress test this, we are looking at an occupancy rate of 90%, right? Now with this, our net annual cash flow is just over $21,000. Now, this deal, sure, you can 100% go for, but this, for me, was a orange flag. Not quite a red flag, but what we can do with the rent-to-rent model is be picky. We do not have to just pull the trigger on something because we're going to miss out on it. We can take our time. We can be controlled and sensible when it comes to getting the very best property. For me, this deal at $21,000 a year is not high enough. The simple fact. 5 of these properties, sure, that's 100 grand a year, but that's also 5. Why would I do 5 when I can get it done in 2 or 3? So for me, this property at a 90% occupancy was too low. So what happened? This deal was actually agreed upon, and we went forward and we pulled the trigger on it. We paid the bond, we paid the 2 weeks upfront rent, and I ran the numbers. In any other situation, I would have purchased this property, right? If there was a buyer's agent that found this property for me, like in another world, and it was going to make 21 grand a year, I was like, yes, let's do it. Firstly, it would have cost me over $100,000 because this property is worth, it would be in the 900s. And that would be the situation. However, with this, we are operating rent to rent, so our risk is much lower. We do not have to worry about actually getting locked into a deal. This specific property had a 2-week period where the current tenants were moving out, and it had me moving in. Well, the company, Anchor Point Property Co. is going to move in as the head tenant before we completed works. After running these numbers, I decided to focus. We had other deals in the pipeline that were higher profit. And so what we needed to do was dial in on those deals instead of looking at the crumbs. So we wanted the whole pie. So what we did was we actually pulled out of this deal. And how we did that is we literally texted the property manager and we said, hey mate, appreciate everything, but at this point, we are not going to move forward. That's it. One text message, and we sent that through. He came back and he said, hey, look, that's a little bit inconvenient, but I fully understand. What we're going to do is we're going to charge a $750 reletting fee and a $750 break lease fee. And that was it. For $1,500, we got out of a deal that could potentially not work out over the next 3 to 5 years. That is what happened. That was the worst case scenario. We paid everything. They sent bond back, they sent rent back, and they just subtracted the $1,500 from it. This is the type of risk that you are exposed to in this rent-to-rent model. That's it. So I get the question, what if everything goes wrong? What if I'm locked into this? You're not. This is the way that you can get out of a deal safely. It will cost you a little bit of money, but it's not going to cost you 30, 40, 50, 100 grand. It cost me less than $2,000 to get out of a deal that I analyzed and analyzed and analyzed. And for me, it wasn't the best. So this specific example is what happens when it goes wrong and how to actually pull out of a deal. I hope this was helpful. I wanted to share this video because it gives you a really good insight and behind the scenes of not every deal goes perfect. Also, part of this, I wanted to show you occupancy, sure, but also if you could only rent these rooms for, like that's the average, but if you could only rent these rooms for $250 a week, then you're only making $5 grand a year, right? So you have to take into account that some of the numbers are a little bit pumped up and you want to actually make them a little bit more conservative. So with this in the occupancy rate, for me, it wasn't enough. I hope this was valuable. If you want to plan your strategy, if you want to see how many properties it would take for you to achieve financial freedom and how long it would take, click the link below, book in a strategy call with me, and I'll walk you through these different types of blueprints and other feasibilities. And if it looks like it's good for you inside of Anchor Point Academy and inside of the community, you can work alongside like-minded investors and actually move towards financial freedom this year. So do that, click the link below, and we'll see you in the next video.